Imagine a lost empire so powerful, technologically advanced and prosperous that it dominated the world 9,000 years before Plato was born, and then, in a single night, it vanished beneath the waves. Did Atlantis just exist in the pages of old books, or was it a real civilization wiped out of history? Today, we'll dive into the origins of the myth, the clues hidden in Plato's writings, and real-world locations that may hold the truth behind the world's greatest lost city. Plato's original tale, the story of Atlantis, begins not with an explorer, but with a philosopher, Plato. Around 360 BCE, Plato wrote two philosophical dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, describing a powerful island nation that lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, known today as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was larger than Libya and Asia combined, filled with grand temples, canals, and a society rich with wisdom and technology. But pride and greed corrupted them. The gods struck Atlantis down, submerging it in a cataclysm of earthquakes and floods. Was Plato recounting history, or crafting an allegory about the dangers of hubris? Historians have debated this for over 2,000 years. Theory 1. The Minoan civilization Santorini. One of the most credible theories places Atlantis in the Aegean Sea. Around 1600 BCE, the volcanic island of Thera, now called Santorini, erupted with a force 100 times more powerful than Mount Vesuvius. The Minoan civilization, known for its advanced trade networks and magnificent palaces, collapsed soon after. The Minoans' culture, wealth, and sudden disappearance bear an eerie resemblance to Plato's Atlantis. Some archaeologists believe this is the case, pointing to sunken ruins and ash layers that match Plato's descriptions of a sudden disaster. Theory 2. The Eye of the Sahara Richat structure. In the vast Mauritanian desert lies a strange geological formation. A massive, perfect circle, 40 kilometers across, known as the Richat structure, or the Eye of the Sahara. Its concentric rings mirror Plato's account of Atlantis, which described a city built in circular tiers, surrounded by water and land. Was this once a coastal city, now buried under desert sands, due to shifting continents or ancient cataclysms? The idea is controversial, but satellite images of this natural wonder keep fueling speculation. Theory 3. Bimini Road and the Azores. In 1968, divers in the Bahamas discovered a mysterious line of underwater stones, now known as the Bimini Road. Some believe these stones are the remains of Atlantis harbor walls. Others dismiss them as natural limestone formations. Still, the myth persists. Further north, on the Azores Islands, a remote Portuguese archipelago, fit Plato's clue of an island beyond the Pillars of Hercules, with volcanic activity and ruins rumored to exist on its seabed. The Azores remain a fascinating candidate. Theory 4. Antarctica. A controversial hypothesis. Some fringe theorists claim Atlantis lies under the ice of Antarctica, suggesting that ancient maps, like the Peary Race chart, hint at an ice-free continent that predates modern history. While mainstream science dismisses this idea, it taps into a tantalizing possibility. What if entire civilizations were lost during the last ice age, swallowed by rising seas? Myths and memories. Which theory is true? That depends on what we really want to believe. Plato's original text gives us few physical clues, no artifacts or inscriptions to point us towards the city's location. Instead, he focuses on Atlantis' culture and government. He describes a powerful monarchy, wise priests, and citizens trained in arts and sciences. It sounds idyllic, yet Plato also warns of their ultimate downfall, a cautionary tale of hubris. If Atlantis was a real place, Did it fall victim to climate change, war, or natural disaster? Or was it merely a figment of Plato's philosophy, a lesson in arrogance and pride? To answer that, we must delve into Plato's words and sift through centuries of speculation. Hidden clues. What Plato tells us when reading Plato's dialogues, we encounter two potential stumbling blocks. First, the dialogue format. Plato wrote his stories as conversations between characters. Is this Atlantis story, history, philosophy, or pure fiction? Second, Atlantis appears only in 2 of Plato's 30-plus works. The rest of his collection says nothing of this lost city, so how can we separate fact from fable? Historians approach this in different ways. Some argue that Plato, drawing from oral traditions and historical records, created a composite Atlantis based on real events. Others see Atlantis entirely as a creation of Plato's philosophy, an allegory to teach his students about virtue and power. Both perspectives have merit. Plato may have taken inspiration from real events like volcanic eruptions or seismic shifts. But ultimately, his goal was philosophical. Through the story of Atlantis, he explores themes of justice, corruption, and divine retribution. Plato's geography lesson. Within his dialogue, we find geographic clues, though open to interpretation. Atlantis is said to lie beyond the Pillars of Hercules, usually interpreted as the Strait of Gibraltar. This narrow waterway links the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean, marking the westernmost point of the known world in Plato's time. Beyond these pillars, according to Greek belief, lay uncharted waters and distant lands. This sets the broad stage for Atlantis, positioning it far from Greek society on the edge of the known world. Another geographical clue comes from Atlantis' supposed size. Plato claimed it was larger than Libya and Asia combined. This could refer to the combined landmass of both regions or their relative sizes. Some scholars suggest Plato was drawing from rough estimates of his time rather than precise measurements. Combined with its location beyond the Pillars of Hercules, this detail points us toward the Atlantic Ocean and the vast stretches of water west of Greece. Mythical neighbors. In his description of Atlantis, Plato mentions several neighboring regions and peoples, some familiar and others shrouded in mystery. He places the Pillars of Hercules to the east, often interpreted as the Strait of Gibraltar. To the south lies the ocean, which, in Greek mythology, encircled the entire earth. And to the west are the Pillars of Sunset, a mysterious region known only from Plato's writing. These neighbors offer a fascinating puzzle. The Pillars of Hercules and the ocean are well established in Greek mythology, but the Pillars of Sunset remain a complete mystery. Does this cryptic mention hint at undiscovered lands, or perhaps at mythical places known only through legends? It may be that the truth of Atlantis lies somewhere beyond what Plato chose to reveal in his dialogues. Could there be more evidence? Exploring the Atlantis myth leads us into a labyrinth of speculation and half-forgotten legends. As we navigate through centuries of theories, we stumble upon tantalizing possibilities that hint at a much larger story. What if the tale of Atlantis is more than just a philosophical lesson? What if it echoes fragments of a collective memory, a whisper of events that shook the foundations of ancient civilizations? Sunken ruins and whispers from the deep. Along the journey, we encounter remnants of civilizations that vanished beneath the waves. Sunken ruins and submerged cities become more than just archaeological sites. They transform into potential pieces of the Atlantis puzzle. Each new discovery adds another layer to the mystery, blurring the line between myth and reality. The deeper we dive into this enigmatic tale, the more we realize that the ocean holds secrets that could rewrite history. Beneath the surface of Plato's words lies a vast ocean of possibilities. Just as the depths of the sea conceal sunken treasures, the depths of the Atlantis myth conceal fragments of a long-lost world. By peering into the abyss of Plato's tales, we might catch glimpses of the events that inspired his writing. Echoes of civilizations that thrived before they slipped beneath the waves. The final plunge, unlocking Atlantis' secrets. As we take the final plunge into the heart of the Atlantis mystery, we find ourselves at the crossroads of countless theories, each offering a tantalizing piece of the puzzle. The thrill of the chase, the allure of the unknown, drives us to explore every lead, every whisper of a sunken city, from the volcanic peaks of Santorini to the vast emptiness of the Sahara. We search for tangible evidence. A mooring stone, a broken column, anything that can anchor us to the reality of Atlantis. What if the key to unraveling the myth lies not in one grand revelation, but in the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant details? What if Plato's Atlantis is a mosaic composed of fragments from various civilizations, each contributing a piece to the grand tapestry of the tale? The more closely we examine each thread, the clearer the picture becomes. As we continue to probe the depths of this enduring myth, we must also consider the possibility that Atlantis may exist not just in physical ruins, but in the collective memory of humanity. What if the story of Atlantis is a symbolic representation of our own relationship with the past, our fascination with lost civilizations, and our desire to understand the forces that shape our world? In the end, the true power of the Atlantis myth may lie not in any single discovery, but in the journey of exploration itself.